of electric cars. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Impractical, space age, pretty ugly. I would have agreed with you, but I've just driven the Nissan Leaf. Unusually for an electric car, the Nissan Leaf is an entirely new vehicle and not a petrol or diesel car that has been stripped out and fitted with an electric battery. This means the Nissan Leaf feels like a completed package with a well thought out design and plenty of space thanks to clever positioning of the battery and electric powertrain. The powertrain of any electric vehicle is always of interest. The Nissan Leaf of course gives off zero CO2 emissions, which means it's exempt from road tax in the UK. Under the bonnet isn't a traditional combustion engine, which may concern you a little bit about the performance and handling. However, with 108 brake horsepower, I was quite surprised at the performance. As well as its electric battery delivering the obvious advantage of zero tailpipe CO2 emissions, resulting in zero road tax and extremely low running costs, it also delivers a surprising power output of 108 brake horsepower. The power is delivered almost instantly as the Leaf doesn't feature a conventional gearbox. However, its top speed is a little more fitting to its electric reputation at just 89 miles an hour. One of the things that really surprised me when I first drove the Leaf was the amount of cabin noise. Well, the lack of it. There's nothing. It's very, very little sound as you're driving along in the Leaf, which, if you've never driven an electric car before, will take a little bit of time to get used to. The Nissan Leaf isn't for everybody, but that can be said about any type of car, from an Aston Martin through to a Nissan Micra. So the main things I'd consider about the Leaf is obviously you've got roughly 100 mile range in it, depending on your driving style. You can charge it overnight because it takes about 8 to 9 hours for a full charge. Practicality is going to be your main concern. Can you physically plug it in? For the likes of myself, I've not got a driveway, so last night charging it up did prove a bit of a concern, running 3 extension cables out of the house, through the windows to the car. But considering my daily commutes to and from work, this would do me fine considering my overnight charges. There is a fast charger on offer which can charge the Leaf to 80% battery capacity in just 30 minutes. In terms of practicality, the Leaf is definitely adequate when it comes to family hatchback standards. So the Leaf obviously looks a little bit different out on the road, and when you get inside to the cabin, that pretty much continues. On the first time I got into the car, I was really impressed with the standard and finish of the dashboard. Although the futuristic feel has continued, it's got everything that you'd expect from a traditional car. Air conditioning, sat-nav, cruise control. Every time you get into the car, it makes you feel a little bit special. You push this button with your foot on the brake to start the vehicle. It greets you with that rather synthetic sound that welcomes you into the cockpit, and of course it's keyless entry as well, so as long as you've got that fob in your pocket, you'll be able to push the button and access the car without getting the keys. As soon as the car has powered up, you have the driver information straight in front of you, and like you would in a traditional car, you'd have your range. This is indicated in miles until next charge, and what is really clever about this is at the moment you can see we've got 70 miles. If I'm driving quite heavily, this will recalculate depending on my driving style. One of my main concerns with electric vehicles is the practicality. Nissan certainly have lived up to all the demands in the Leaf. There's plenty of storage space in the glove box, the centre console, 2 cup holders and 2 quite large side bins. Its boot is one of the best you'll find on an electric car, with 310 litres of storage space on offer, which can be extended by folding its 60/40 rear seats down. Coming to the centre console, this is one area that I feel a little let down by the Leaf. It doesn't feel like a traditional Nissan console. It's got this rather strange open and tilt satellite navigation that gives you access to your CD and the updates for your maps. From using the satellite navigation over the past 2 days, I found it a little bit inaccurate, and that surprised me in comparison to some of the other Nissans that we've recently driven. If you're remotely interested or looking to buy a Nissan Leaf, I'd strongly recommend you download the Nissan Leaf app. It's like a digital brochure which can walk you through all of the virtual options for the car, including colours. It's got testimonials from other customers, and it gives you a lot of interaction with the potentials for this vehicle. One real interesting piece of technology in this car is something called Car Wings. It's an application that you download to your iPhone, although I've got it on the iPad just so it's a little bit bigger for you guys to see. Car Wings is basically an application that allows you to check the charge, the climate. For instance, on a cold winter's morning, I can turn my climate control on so the car's nice and warm when I get into it. From the comfort of my armchair in my house, I can check my charge, how long the charge has got left, and how many miles I've got in my range. There's plenty of technology in this car, and it excites me at the signs of things to come from the automotive industry. The main thing to consider with the Nissan Leaf is whether or not you're willing to pay the hefty price tag. Although its zero emissions qualify for the plug-in government grant, which knocks £5,000 off its retail price, the Leaf will still cost you £25,990, which is a big dedication for a family hatchback. But if you really are passionate about buying an electric car, then why not go for the Leaf? It has plenty on offer, especially in comparison to the rest of the electric car market.